Hi, I'm here with Joanne Lavin.
Hi.
And her doggies.
That's right. All two of them.
That's right. Thank you so much for letting us come into your house and talk about you and put you in the spotlight, because I know usually you're the one running around after all the celebrities, so I'm really happy that I get to introduce you guys to Joanne.
Well, you're welcome, and it's true. I am behind the scenes kind of girl.
Yeah.
It's not my thing to be on air, but you are so fabulous, and I thought that this would be fun, and you let me bring my dogs along. So what else can I
Of course.
I kept the horses outside, though.
Yeah. Well, she says she's behind the scenes, but look at her. Okay, there's no blending in. This is one of the most creative women I've ever met.
Besides you, because I mean, basically when we do a show together, I mean, people just can't, they're in awe of who we are.
There's a lot going on.
That's true.
But I just think that you're so special in what you do.
Oh, thank you.
And the fact that you can take anybody and you can make them look extraordinary.
Thanks.
And I want to talk about that and talk about your shows and some highlights, but I kind of want to peel it back to, when you were a kid and how'd you end up in Hollywood, dressing celebrities on TV shows?
You know what, I really have to cut it down because this could be like the next 2 hours, but honestly, my parents had a clothing store, very high fashion, and my mother was pregnant with me, so I always make a joke that I was born into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I came out of the womb, and from that moment on, all I ever heard was about clothing.
Wow.
And so, in my career, I've done so many different things and evolved to be who I am today, which is being a wardrobe stylist, but I would go to Europe on buying trips and do all the shows and experience all areas of clothing and fashion. Though I have to tell you, the one thing that I will always feel, it doesn't make any difference who I dress or what show I do. For me, it's always about that I want somebody to feel good in what they look. Mm-hmm. What they wear. I mean, yeah. How you feel is really how you emote who you are. So
well, and you are so much in their I'm in their personal space as a makeup artist, but you are really, that's very personal.
Well, it's almost like it's that personal where I say hi, take off your clothes. And men, women, it's just they have to undress in front of me. So it's just that kind of thing. But I make it easy for them because I make it personal. And I think that people become more personal when they know that you really are interested in knowing what they like and that you want to make them look good.
Right.
So
when you were in Europe, right?
Yes.
And you were doing buying and you were up on all the styles and then how did you get from there to Hollywood?
I did that, and Europe is a very interesting. I also lived in Paris too.
Poor thing.
I call it my survival trip because I left my parents' store. I moved to Paris and wanted to find who I was, and then I did a personal shopping. I took people around shopping at different stores in Paris, but I got to Hollywood because I was also hired once I left Paris to work in somebody's clothing store here as a buyer. So that's how I got to California. But I didn't evolve as a stylist till I was in my 40s.
Really?
Which is always like I love to what I'd ever want to say to somebody is you can recreate whoever you are. It doesn't make any difference how old or who you are. And that's really the truth. I started doing different things in LA. I worked for a wholesale company, and then I worked for a product placement person, and I was getting clothing from New York, high fashion clothing, to be on TV for credits. And I was going to the stores with the stylist, and yet I was picking out the clothes. So I thought, no, there's something wrong with this picture. I need to be a stylist. And I had made friends with this exec producer who was moving here, and she was doing a daytime show, which really goes back, and maybe nobody will know of who this is, but Vicki Lawrence had a daytime...
I know.
Yeah. But Vicki Lawrence had a daytime show, and I got hired, and I brought a friend in, and we both knew nothing about being a stylist.
Wow.
So, you know, actually it's really a cute story because I was at NBC showing a room with Jay Leno's people, and I'd wait till the stylist left the room to look to see what was in their set bags because I had no idea how to do anything. But
that's so brave.
You know what?
I mean, that's pretty. You know, that's pretty brave to just take it without really, you know, knowing exactly what you were walking into. Well, but I think sometimes you have to. You know, when those opportunities come up, I think sometimes when that door opens, you got to dance.
I absolutely agree. Or if somebody says no to me, I say yes. You know, I feel that there's nothing that you can't do. It's not a challenge. It's just an opportunity to evolve. And really, if I had to do anything else besides being a stylist, I would be telling everybody that you just have to keep doing what you want to do. Because that's the only way that you become successful, is doing what you love.
Right. It's interesting, the last two people, Dean Benowitz and Christina Duff, right? Both were basically saying the same thing, always say yes. Say yes.
Absolutely.
And then figure it out.
And that's exactly what I've done. Actually, on all the shows I've done, whoever I dress, I never say no to anything. Even if it would be something that I had to break down a script, I would just find somebody that would break down a script and then I'd go further with it.
Do you ever, here's a question, do you ever go to dress someone and you don't like their style?
Absolutely.
And then what do you do about that?
Well, I want to kill myself inside. No, you know, I think it's really interesting because, yes, I mean, I've dressed so many people. I've done shows that are reality shows like Millionaire Matchmaker with Patty Stanger, and I've done many, many, many other things. And particular people that are so stuck in their way, you almost have to, well, you do two things. First, I show up with what they want, and then I show up with what I want. And I try to make it a mixture. And, you know, most times it works, but I think too, when you're in my field, you're doing a service. So you just can't always be you can't always have it be how you want it to be. Because I'm sure you will agree with me. We could do 5,000 shows, and all of a sudden producers want to tell us how makeup and hair and wardrobe should be. So, you know, it's just...
It's happened!
Like more than one. Yeah. You know, it's really trippy if you really think about that. If everybody let the people they hire do what they felt was best for how they look.
Well, sometimes that's just a nervous energy of
that's true too.
Needing to control, and you know, maybe they can't control something else, but this they feel they can, and so it just, you know.
Yes.
I guess it's not taking it personally and just.
That's exactly
doing your job.
You know what? I love everything I do, even the challenges, even the people that maybe I don't necessarily like the end result of how they look, but you know, I think that's in any business. You can't always have it your way. Just do the best you can, and then you have to feel good about what you did.
Yeah. Do you have a person that you've worked with that's been a real favorite for you, or someone? I know that there's a few people that you've been with for quite a while on different shows, and they bring you into things. Is there somebody that you just, you know, that you really clicked with, and you feel happy about maybe the style that you've given them, or it's just great working with them?
Well, you know, I've done so many different kind of shows, and just because you're asking me, lately I do this show that's called Monopoly Millionaires Club in Vegas, and it's going to be, and is one of the biggest game shows ever on the air. They give away millions of dollars, and this is an interesting concept from a person who I am. I trust Billy Gardell from Mike and Molly, and so, okay, he's not a size 2, but I have never had, I've had the best experience, not only dressing him, but he has this Frank Sinatra thing, so I had to take myself and put him in these suits and taper them so that as big as he is, he looks stunning.
Yeah.
And he had scarves and ties, and what I loved the most about this, and because you asked this question, is how much he appreciated this.
Yeah.
And that, and no matter, and how successful he is, it doesn't make any difference if somebody makes fun of somebody's weight and who they are. He felt good, and he was so grateful. And every time he would go out on the stage that would have hundreds of people in the audience, he would stop and say, "You just nailed it. You did a great job." And I think for all of us, that would be something that we think is special, because you know, everybody's so busy and into their own lives that they don't really think that maybe they should just say, "I look great, thanks for the makeup.
Yeah.
You know, I really look fabulous."
Makes a big difference.
It does. So I guess the moral of the story is, yes, I do fashion people, and yes, I do people that aren't necessarily fashion, but it all was the same to me.
Okay, so where do you get the clothes?
That is a very good question. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so being that I do TV shows and I deal with production companies, and what happens is I usually meet with the host and the production company, and they give me a budget. And most people are not aware of this, but big major stores like Neiman's and Nordstrom's and Macy's and Bloomingdale's, they have a department called Studio Service. And all stylists from soap operas, episodics, everybody goes to that particular studio in their store, and they get to memo out all of the clothes. They have to put down a credit card, or the production company puts down their information. And then I also will get money from them, petty cash, where I'll go to other stores. It could be a Zara, it could be any boutique. And but the memoing of the big stores is major, because when I go to a fitting, I can't take the chance that this fitting is not going to work out. So if I'm doing 10 shows and I need 10 outfits, I'm bringing like 8 bags of clothes, because that's probably one of my secrets.
And I know you guys have like big cars.
Yes,
big trucks.
No,
right. You put all that stuff in there.
Actually, the funniest thing with me, it's so me. The bigger my vehicle, the more shows I get. So,
hey.
like right now, it's a very big truck.
You got a train.
No, I'm gonna get a big like Mercedes bus. That'll be great.
I like
black.
that.
Should be great.
Oh yeah.
So anyhow, I bring these clothes to wherever the fitting is. Then, it's such a process. It's not for this. Being a wardrobe stylist is not for sissies.
No.
I mean, everybody thinks, oh, it's so great to go shopping. Yes, but you have to shop. Okay, look, he's getting comfortable. You have to shop and get what everybody wants. I mean, you could shop for 20,000 things, and it could all be wrong.
You guys work harder than, I mean, you work honestly, they work way harder than the makeup and hair department. They just do. I mean, when you're doing special effects, okay, maybe, but on the whole, because you guys have to buy all that stuff.
Oh my God, yes.
And it's the wardrobe, it's the jewelry, it's the shoes and the undergarments and all, and then
you have to return it.
And then you have to return it.
I know, it's a long process, but so then I do a fitting and send pictures to everybody. Usually all the exec producers want it, and then they sign off on their looks, and then I bring the rest back. And
what if the stars want them?
Well, I don't know. I'm a really, I don't want to say, I think manipulate is the wrong word, but I think that I make it work with both parties.
Yeah.
Usually what I'll do, and I probably shouldn't make this so obvious in case all my producers are listening, but I usually throw in things that I know the host wants, because obviously I want the host to be happy. That's my main thing, because he has to wear it, she has to wear it. You have to look good when you're out and you're on TV. That's the main thing, how you feel good. So that's basically the process of what I do.
Yeah, it's so amazing. So tell me something that's happened in your career that was really a highlight. It was really, phenomenal that you got to dress someone, or you were on a show and it was such a big show, and you really, you're really proud of that moment. What's that for you?
So this is like an easy conversation. I mean, there's actually two, but the one that is so major is American Idol. I did the first season of American Idol, and it's really funny when you think about how you started. I met Nigel Lithgow in his office. He had just come here, and he interviewed me, and he said, I just want you to know you're going to be on the biggest show that ever hit this country. And you're thinking, this sounds like a great little show. It's going to be on a network and blah, blah, blah. And then, and I'm not even exaggerating like I could do, but the first week it aired, between the first and second week, it just hit the trades. Everybody went crazy. It was like amazing. And People magazine, everybody wanted to interview me. It was so weird and fabulous.
Yeah.
And what I loved actually about the first season is their idea was all of them, which was Kelly Clarkson and everybody else in that particular season, would bring their own clothes. So, and they looked really, can I say the word like shit? No. Okay.
Yeah, you can. It's YouTube.
Okay. Well, they weren't dressed.
They weren't savvy.
They were from small.
Yeah.
They didn't. It wasn't the right word. They just didn't know how to dress, and they all thought they had their style, and so they would wear their own clothes that I would help pick out from their wardrobe. And I think the buildup of that show was the thing that was the most amazing, because when they got down to 10, then we just kicked in and we started dressing them. I remember one night, seriously, they closed the Beverly Center at a certain time so we could come in, and there was 8,000 bodyguards to, at one time, and they don't do this anymore, they had credit cards. They were given credit cards for a certain amount of money that they were allowed to go anywhere in the Beverly Center and get clothes.
Wow.
And
that's so awesome.
No, it was. And to see Kelly Clarkson evolve, and that she won, and I do a lot of shows, but every time I see that first picture of her when she sang her last song, just the one, whether they were going to choose her or not, and I thought, it was a simple outfit, which was really cool. Like that I did that, it really made me feel like a part of something really, really special.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing that I do that I love is the ESPY Awards, because it's the sport awards for every athlete. But what I love about it is I do all these little things, and then I do bigger things, but then I go down to the Nokia, and there's 10,000 people that are going to be in the audience, or whatever it is, and every celebrity I've had a very special career.
Yeah, you have. You've had a great career. Just
and
amazing.
I'm really thankful, and I'm still not over it yet.
No, huge things for you to come.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. I hope so.
Oh, I know so. I would love if you could, tell people that are watching, if you could just give them some advice. Because coming from you, it would mean the world,
yes.
and they should listen.
I think the advice that I would have for anybody, whether you want to be a stylist or whatever you do, is you have to have the passion to never give up. Like, if somebody says no, or if somebody turns you down, you go to another place. Never give up on what your dream is, because I think that's what success is that you follow your heart, and most people that do, they end up getting what they want. You can't quit. Do what you love. And that would be, as my scarf unrolls, the end of what
The end.
The end of what I would have to say, really. It's that.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thanks for having
Dee Dee,
me here. And
besides the fact you're amazing, and by the way, Dee Dee and I have worked 1,000 years, well, not 1,000, a couple, on shows together, and as great as I am, that's as great as she is. She walks into a room, and when she does makeup, you absolutely cannot believe. She is like serious. She is a presence, and everything she does turns out great. And the other thing is, I've never met anybody that could wear 8-inch heels and be on any stage where they say you can't wear stilettos. She goes everywhere with her shoes.
She's so funny. I love this girl. Okay, that's it. It's a love fest. I'm coming over to get a hug. I'm getting one. Oh, thank you, my friend. She's so sweet. We're so lucky. And keep an eye out for Joanne Lavin and all of her incredible shows. Check out her website at...
It's Joanne, Joanne, Lavin, Lavin.com.
That's right. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I know they're sneakers. They're really...
Come on.